unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Hey. We are all gathered here today to discuss a man versus a woman in martial arts, a combat sport, the pugilistic sport known as boxing. You better not duck me, Thun. You better not. I'm coming. Keith, one-time Thurman, finally responds to the GWOAT, Claressa Shields, and he gives her what she's been looking for. So in this video, I'm going to break down what he said. He was finally asked about what's the stuff with Clarissa saying she could beat Rolly and all that jazz. Now, I have recently done more videos about Claressa Shields this year than I probably have in my channel's existence. And I know some people, they're like, oh, all publicity is good publicity. All press is good press, ego. Yeah. Y'all just be saying these adages thinking that they work. But I can assure you, the videos aren't quote unquote good, right? Because I feel like Claressa Shields now finds herself becoming synonymous with like drama or messy or, tea, things like that. And we're starting to become very far removed from any actual boxing dialogue when it comes to Claressa Shields. Like, Jake Paul signed all these females, right? Sure, they're getting paid good. And their cards are their card. Like, Caroline Dubois, she's about to fight Terry Harper. Alicia Baumgartner got a fight. Michaela Mayer just signed to them. Serrano had a fight, et cetera, et cetera. Every other woman in the sport of boxing right now, or even UFC, right? Gina Carano making a comeback to Ronda Rousey, right? The bulk of the Ronda Rousey coverage has been about mostly Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano, right? It's not a bunch of sidebar stuff. The only sidebar is like her arguing for fighters' pay. And saying the UFC, they lost their way and they're not paying the fighters, right? Other than that, it's a promotion focus on that. And she has her next fight actually like in stone. We don't even know when Claressa Shields is fighting next. Yet her name keeps getting thrown in the mix. And it's all because of negative stuff. And I feel like it went on a lot when she got with Papoose. I think there was an uptick in coverage that she was receiving. And she didn't know how to embrace or handle the added attention being picked up by more blogs. So she started explaining herself more or just falling in love with the camera and the attention and posting more. Oh, I made Pap this Pap upstairs. Who gives a like, why? It is your relationship. Why do we need to see what he's eating? And then you're like, it just seems desperate and thirsty. I cooked this for Pap upstairs. Look at what and then on top of all things, I'm a foodie. The food didn't even look good. I don't know about the later videos. I'm talking about that first initial one that everybody was talking about where you put raw spinach leaf. Like, you ever went to Subway, eat fresh, right? And you get that cold cut trio and they ask you what toppings you want on it. And you're like, give me some pepperoni, lettuce, tomato. Oh yeah, some spinach. And then they had those little tubs and they just dish it on and start building yourself. That's the type of spinach Claressa Shields use. That Subway tote of spinach that they use, and then they just put it on your stuff. You didn't even like saute some onion, garlic, yeah, you know what I mean? There's some olive oil and, season it a little bit. You just gave him some raw spinach, feeding him like he a rabbit or something. So it is what it is. We can't get over one Clarissa like controversy before we're thrown into the next one. Like one day is like, or not, a couple days, she's saying she could beat Rolly and that come up. And she's yelling and arguing with Shannon Sharp, Unc, blah, blah, blah. And then like literally the next day, she beefing with 50 Cent in Maserati Bud. Right? So it's very suffocating. There's no like real breathing room. Now, Keith Thurman has an upcoming fight. He will be fighting tonight. Come back to my channel. I will have coverage for the Fundora Keith Thurman fight. And he was asked about Claressa Shields. This is what he had to say.
I want to talk about Claressa Shields. She said she could beat Rolly Romero. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Claressa Shields said she can beat me, bro. Claressa Shields, I don't know. What state she from, man? They got legalized marijuana out there? What's she smoking on, bro? We all saw her get dropped by her sparring partner, man. It is what it is, man. She a female with an erection, baby. You know what I'm saying? So,
No. This man said Claressa Shields is a female with an erection. Keith Thurman is masterful on the microphone, bro. I ain't never heard of that before. He said Claressa Shields is a female with an erection. Wow.
it is what it is, man. She a female with an erection, baby. You know what it is, man. She a female with an erection, baby. You know what I'm saying?
And why he say it so smooth? Man, it is what it is, but she a female with an erection, baby. But like, I'm done.
Absolutely. Before I get you out of here, I want to talk about Claressa Shields. She said she could beat Rolly Romero. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Claressa Shields said she can beat me, bro. Claressa Shields, I don't know. What state she from, man? They got legalized marijuana out there? What's she smoking on, bro? We all saw her get dropped by her sparring partner, man. It is what it is, man. She a female with an erection, baby. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, she just talks a lot of talk. Women and males, they very rarely, even on an exhibition level, have they cross paths with one another, right? Sabrina Williams has made the big statement of the difference of the women's division and the men's division just off of the first serve, the speed and the power from the serve, So she's a talented woman who's done great things in boxing. Hats off to her, applause, a lot of things. But, when they say stay in your lane, there's a reason.
Okay.
He told Claressa Shields she needed to stay in her lane. I mean, the whole thing is bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre to me, right? And I want to give you guys a brief history lesson since we're talking about sport. Because a lot of y'all don't know this. Leave it to your boy Ego. You see, in 1998, Serena Williams made a statement that she can beat a man in tennis, right? So they set it up. They like, all right, you could whoop a man in tennis as a female, as a woman. And if you ever seen the movie King Richard, we're talking about how their dad got them in, Venus and Serena, in the sport. They come from a rough area, CPT, Compton, you dig, right? And you know confidence was instilled in them if you watch that movie or watch any documentaries on them. So just like Clarissa, the Williams sisters were very confident, right? So Serena made the statement she could whoop a male tennis player. They matched her with Karsten Bratch, right? Who was a male player who was ranked 203 at the time, right? So in 1998, Serena Williams was ranked in the top of the world in women's tennis. She made that statement, and some random guy who was ranked 203, not like top 10, not even like a top 15, you dig, right? Somebody who's ranked at 203, bro. 203 in the world. Serena Williams faced him and he won 6-1, and then he beat her 6-2. Serena has stated that men's and women's tennis are distinct sports and she would lose quickly to top male players, acknowledging the significant physical differences in power and speed, right? In 1998, the match was called the Battle of the Sexes. It was an exhibition where this ranked 200 guy beat Serena Williams and Venus Williams. So he played both sisters and waxed both of them 6-1 and beat Venus, because we know Serena was the better of the two, right? But he gave them both the works. He gave them that loaded baked potato, right? 6-1 to 6-2 in short sets after they claimed they could beat a man outside the top 200. Serena's own perspective, she mentioned she would lose to top men like Andy Murray. See, and that difference is, to give you guys clarification, she's saying she would lose to the top males, but outside of the top 200, she got work for them. But then this guy was 203 and he worked him over, right? John McEnroe and numerous forum users discussed on Talk Tennis have noted the lower ranked male professionals would likely defeat. Look, they said the guys that are ranked in the top 500 to 700 would still likely defeat top ranked female players, highlighting the physical disparities. Bro, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. So, if by and large, a woman, and this was an exhibition, and if you made the statement, hold on, let me take this off. If you made a statement that you can beat a man, then you're trying to win that game. And then if you've seen your sister lose, Serena lose, then Venus is going to try to avenge her. So we know that they were playing hard. We don't know how hard the guy was playing, if he was going full throttle or not. But we know if you made a statement that you could whoop a man, you're not trying to lose that, right? So if it is determined scientifically that there is a speed, power, velocity, intensity, disparity in tennis, what do you think it'll be for a combat sport such as boxing? Right? We're talking about swinging a racket. Bow, bow. We're talking about swinging a racket, right? If you notice the power and speed difference there, you don't think you're going to notice it, and you're in the ring with Rolly, and you're in the ring with Keith Thurman, hell, even a Jake Paul. Because Jake Paul would actually, like, Keith Thurman might be shorter than Claressa Shields. Rolly might be shorter. Jake Paul is not shorter and smaller than Claressa Shields. Now, he's more novice than Rolly and Keith Thurman. But the point remains, like, what are we talking about, bro? And again, I'm a big dude. If I put paws on a female and the police came, what's going to happen to me, bro? Do I get to stay at home or do I got to go downtown? So I don't even like talking about this because I don't like really talking nonsensical things, but it keeps coming up. And Keith kept it real. We all seen what happened when you fought the other dude with no power, right? The guy that Rolly knocked out. He floored you. Now, of course, Claressa Shields is claiming that the guy had loaded gloves or Roberto Duran's gloves or something was going. She said something allegedly was going on with the dude's glove. And in case you don't know, this is the guy that she sparred, Arturs Amatovs, right? The man has 7 pro fights and he only has 2 knockouts. He not cracking like that, bro. He look like Lee Harvey Oswald or something. He don't even really look like a boxer for real, right? Okay, looks could be deceiving. But that 33.33% angel number of KO percentage, that shows, and he ain't fought really, like Rolly cooked him, and he fought one more time, and he ain't done nothing since the pandemic, right? And here's Rolly, where Rolly cooked him. So, and Rolly knocked him out in 2 rounds. Clarissa can't, with headgear, bigger, probably a bigger ring, bigger gloves, headgear, etc. You can't get with this dude, but then you're gonna beat Keith Thurman. Come on, bro. You can't whoop this dude from Latvia, but you're gonna knock out or beat Keith Thurman. And then, like, as far as he tampered with his glove, why you ain't sue him? Simple question. If you're a woman and he's a man and he try to get you out of here like that, why don't you sue him for like major damage that he was trying to inflict? Again, this is Claressa Shields. As a woman fighting women, she has 18 fights and 3 knockouts. Her knockout percentage is 16, right? So anybody who knows boxing knows what that means. If you were in an intergender competition and you don't have power, if guy, not like, oh, guys are holding back or guys are going lightly. If a man is coming at you full throttle and he don't respect you, right? And he don't respect what you throwing, what's going to happen? Well, I mean, be real. What's going to happen? And then you got dropped by Hannah Gabriels in a fight. If Rolly connect, if Jake Paul connect, if Keith Thurman connect, if Gervonta Davis connect, anybody like that, what do you think is going to happen, bro? 18-0, great. You done great things, undisputed. No one's taking nothing away from you. But this is where it gets delusional. 18-0, and you got 3 knockouts, and then you think look, Layla Ali, she had 24 fights and won all but 3. 21 of them were by knockout, right? So that's a knockout artist, daughter of a legend. Rumble, young man, rumble. Right? 87. She has almost a 90% KO ratio. Not too many women survived her. And she bigger than you. 5'10". Right? And Wolf has one of my favorite knockouts of all time. Look at her record. She lost once by KO, and she had 25 fights, 16 of them came by knockout. And she has one of the most incredulous knockouts of all time versus Vonda Ward. 67% knockout ratio, roughly, when you round up, right? Clarissa's stuff not even remotely. And this was when you had, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but back when these women were fighting, You had like some big, burly, lumberjack, Paul Bunyan looking females. Now you got women that look all petite and cute, you know what I mean, and wearing lingerie at the weigh-in. It's a different time. Some of these chicks was big. This is Vonda Ward, 24 fights that she won, 17 by knockout. Again, she has a crazy knockout percentage, and a lot of you don't know she's 6'7", right? BoxRec has her listed at 6'6", but I've heard her announced as 6'7". So Ann Wolfe knocked her out. She has a reach longer than Floyd Mayweather, 78 inch, and she's like Wilder's height, Anthony Joshua's height. We ain't never seen Clarissa fight nobody like this, right? So again, that's why he like stay in your lane, keep doing what you doing. Keep doing what you're doing. And man, I feel a type of way because we all, I feel like what did Tyra Banks say on that Top Model? I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you. That's how I feel with Claressa Shields. We all were rooting for you. But you keep doing so much nonsensical things that is making it very hard because the stuff you're doing ain't even about boxing for real, right? And just for y'all that don't know, this is Vonda Ward. Look at the size differential, right? Look at the size differential. Look how big she was. And look at what happened. Ha! Hit her with that blah, blah, that doot. Big overhand. And you could tell she's physically was bigger than Ann Wolfe. You see that? Now put Vonda Ward. Clarissa did recently fight a heavyweight girl that was tall, that 2 Chainz looking chick, right? Perkins or whatever. But man, she don't compare to Vonda Ward, bro. She don't compare to that. So when you start factoring that, and then you start mixing it, look, there's a height difference. Clarissa ain't fought nobody like that. She ain't fought no Layla Ali, no Vonda Ward, no Ann Wolfe. You did your thing. You got your Olympic gold medals. You challenged yourself with PFL and UFC. Or not UFC, but MMA. We rock with that. But all this extra stuff is weird. And saying you gonna whoop Rolly. I don't know, man. I don't know. All I can say is social media is a drug. Fame is a drug, and some people they get drunk with it, you know. And like now, that's what it is. Claressa Shields like brokey, y'all brokey, fanning out money, doing the money phone, right? What are you doing that for? We're in a recession. Do you think that make you relatable? Like for real? We're practically in a recession. We're like, you have no self-awareness at all. Where gas prices are high, grocery prices are high. We're at war. There's a war in the Middle East. Netflix is going up. We're practically in a recession, right? If you ask any economist, you fanning out money to show your accomplishment. What do you think that's doing for you right now? That's not making you more relatable. You know, it's not making people like, oh, I got to go to Little Caesar Arena and watch her fight. And then, like, if you watch my other video, Clarissa was complaining that 3 sliders, hamburger sliders, cost $24. Like, what? You keep talking about how much money you got and how broke everybody is, and you complaining about some burgers, some sliders. Oh man, $8 a piece. Like the messaging is really off with Claressa Shields lately, really off, and that's why Keith Thurman had to come with it. That's why he had to come with it and respond. And shout out to my boy Kamal Oz. He wanted me to do this Unpacked. But look, you fanning out money, people. You got people judging your relationship. I don't like, to be honest, no disrespect, I don't see how Papoose do it, bro. It couldn't be me. Couldn't be me at all. Because it's like, I wouldn't want a bunch of attention on my relationship. You got people calling Papoose broke, and you're making it worse every time you talk about it. There go my video right there. Right? Every time you keep talking about it, just bring more attention to your relationship, and not in a good way. You know, the more I feel like, I don't know, I'm just a private person. I feel like the more people are involved in things, usually the more messed up it can get, all right? Because everybody get to open their mouth with an opinion, judge your situation, and everybody start speaking their mind on your business. And usually it don't lead to good things. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.